Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, friends. Here we are. We are here at the SSVA. The center is in your home now, and we are all invited to this inspirational talk. Of course, before we were coming to the center, and now the center is in our homes. It's more open than ever. If you think, oh, it's closed, hurry up. We need to come in and join here because we cannot be in the center now physically, but the center is coming to you. For those who are local and want to be in person, weather allowing, every Saturday at 11 a.m., we have Gospel Under the Tree. And you can come to the Spirit Side of Virginia at the parking lot under the pine tree. We'll be doing our meeting there every Saturday until the cold comes, and then we have to have another plan. So now we want to begin, and Carol is going to help us with a message, right? Carol?
Right. Thank you, Vanessa. The message we are going to read tonight is from the book Living Spring by the Spirit Mentor Emmanuel through the mediumship of Chico Xavier. It's message 70 entitled Loneliness. Pilate asked them, "But what wrong has he done?" They shouted even louder, "Crucify him!" As you evolve higher and higher by performing your duty, you experience the loneliness of the heights, and immeasurable sadness afflicts your sensitive soul. Where are those who used to laugh with you in the springtime park of your early youth? Where are the hearts that used to come looking for you in times of wonder? Where are those who used to partake of the bread and the dream with you in the cheerful adventures of the beginning? Of course, they stayed behind. They stayed in the valley, flying in a narrow circle like golden moths that go up in the smoke at the first contact with the smallest flame that appears before them. There is light all around you, but also silence. Within you, the happiness of knowing, but also the pain of not being understood. Your voice cries out without an echo, and your longing is in vain. Nonetheless, if you really are evolving to a higher level, what ears can hear you from such a great distance? And what heart in need of comfort would really grasp your lofty ideals? You weep, ask, and suffer. However, what kind of rebirth is not painful? In order to free itself, the bird destroys the cradle of bark in which it matured, and the seed must undergo decay in the ground in order to produce. Loneliness in serving others creates greatness. The bedrock that upholds the plain does so by itself, and the sun that nourishes the whole world shines alone. Do not weary of learning the science of spiritual growth. Remember the Lord who mounted Calvary with the cross on his wounded shoulders. No one was with him during his gruesome death, except for 2 teeth being rightly punished for their crimes. Remember him and press on. Do not count the good deeds that you have done for others. Trust in the infinite good that awaits you. Do not wait for others on your journey of sacrifice and spiritual evolution, and do not forget that for his ministry of redemption for all humankind, the Divine Friend not only lived, struggled, and suffered alone, but was also persecuted and crucified.
Thank you, Carol, for this message. And now we invite everyone to join us in a prayer. Dear Mother, Father God, we feel truly privileged for knowing of your love, unconditional and so provident, generous to all. We are suffering on the earth because we have despised you, because we have put you aside. We are the prodigal children, but we come back to your house, willing to serve you, willing to co-create with you in greater wisdom. We've been tired of being astray. And finally, thanks to Spiritism, we come together tonight. We would like to understand more about the main step of the making of a family, which is the first cell of our society. Our family on earth is in need of healing, and the healing begins in our relationships. It all begins in the union of two people. We want to understand more about how to improve that and prepare ourselves for the future. Whether we're single, married, engaged, widowed, divorced, separated, these are temporary status. What matters to us is that we've come to know that we all shall experience the school of marriage at some point and repeat it time and again, reincarnations to come, to master things that we need to understand. May the healing vibrations that envelop us now protect us, guide us, as we march towards the beginning of this most therapeutic meeting. May everyone who join us, live or on demand, feel the loving embrace of your grace and allow our homes to be extensions of your loving care, pacifying our homes as true temples of your love. With your permission, may we begin our inspirational talk tonight, and so be it. Thank you, friends. So now, Carol, Luciana, and I will be talking about this topic. But as we do often before we begin the main topic, we have the Spirit's Book moment, and Luciana is going to help us read and also explain one question every Friday. There's always the Spirit's Book moment, right? And
Right.
Luciana is going to help us in that regard.
So let us start with, today we are starting the question 909 of the Virtues and Vice, Part 3 of Chapter 12 of the Spirit's books. As we always mention, this book is a treasure. If you're looking to be rich, to get something that is really going to empower you, help you throughout life, you must have this book and read it. Each question will illuminate your thoughts and change your life. And today at question 902, Kardec comes and asks the spirits, because it's very often all the questions he made, we have those questions inside of our mind, or sometimes we didn't even think about it, of this question, but it's still there. When you read the question, like, oh yeah, this is a question that I have that I would like to know the answer. So today he's asking, is it wrong to desire riches as a means of doing good? A lot of people think about that, right? And let's see what the Spirit's going to tell us, because we may be mistaken as we are learning from the other questions, that because of our not very well developed intelligence, not knowing the truth, not knowing the real truth, sometimes our answer, our judgment is misleading based on our own knowledges. But the spirits that know much more than us comes and tell us the answer. And they say, such a desire is laudable when it's pure, but is always quite disinterested, and does it never cover any secret to the self. It is not the first person to whom one wishes to do good too often oneself. And it's interesting because, like, we always wanted to do good. Let's say, oh, I want to win the lottery so I can do good for people, for the center, to everyone in my family. And they are coming back with a question at us. Why do you want to be wealthy, having all this stuff to do good, right? We don't need to have all this wealth. We don't need to have all this material riches or wealth that we consider, because if we do that, if we're doing there with the intention to help others, is a pure noble thing. But normally the self-fulfillment comes first. And this is the question that the Spirit comes and bring it to us again. So we need to meditate in this way that we want to become richer, and why and how. We know from other questions that we don't need to have any material things, right? We need just donate about our time, our love to the brothers and sisters. And here it is, another answer with more questions for us to meditate about it. And you can read more on the Spirit's book to help you to understand and make the decision for yourself. Because the good Spirit's always asking us to question ourselves and challenging our reason in order to decide what is right and wrong. So that's it for today, dear friends.
Thank you, Luciana. And now we have a super task. We see wonderful friends here, friends that we know from local, our Spiritist Center in Virginia, and from afar, Franklin from Australia, so Souza from Connecticut, right? Nora Brazil in Texas, and many other friends. And if you're watching this on demand, remember, there's always an opportunity to send us a message at kardecradio@gmail.com. Now, today, we are going to talk about a topic, a hot topic. Yeah, it's hard. School of marriage. When you're little, like, oh, it's so good, I want to get married. And then when you get older, like, oh my gosh, don't talk about it. Why? Some people are okay with it, but so many people on earth have a hard time with it. So let us then revisit. If you haven't gone through the study in Spiritism, there are several books, starting from the Spirit's book. The Spirit's book, as Luciana said, is the first reference. And if you have the ebook version, the Kindle version, we all have the opportunity to search for the keywords that we want to know more. So if you have that book in a Kindle version or ebook, you can search for the words you want to study more, you want to know more about. In this case, about marriage. The title tells it all. Before we begin, we want to report about a story that Amália Domingos Soler, in a book that was first written in Spanish, Hechos que Prueban. It's on PDF online available. In Portuguese, it was translated as Reencarnação e Vida. It's also on PDF online. And in English, it doesn't exist yet. At least some cases have been published in the Spiritist magazine at spiritistmagazine.com or .org. Every issue we have tried to publish some of the translated articles, the chapters in English. But at Kardec Radio years ago, we shared 15 of those cases. You can go to Facebook playlist at Kardec Radio or YouTube, Kardec Radio's YouTube, and the playlist is titled 15 Cases of Previous Lives. And we want to share with you today's case. It's about a girl who was very loving and caring in her family, and she had a wonderful relationship with her parents. And one day, when she was 17, back like 100 years ago, at 17 and being proposed in marriage was natural. I know nowadays there's a big discussion about people getting married with people who are minors. And we tonight we want to pray especially for Somalia, who has a bill to be passed allowing minors to be married if they have the consent of parents, which is very sad. It's very sad. So we want to pray for the protection of those children. Besides that, we want to say that in this case, it was pretty common 100 years ago. And Amália Domingos Soler tells that this girl, she was 17, a teenager, and she was proposed in marriage by a guy who was pretty good, and the father approved. But the father said, let's give a year. Of course, she would turn 18. When the marriage was approaching, she had that feeling of cold feet and said, Dad, I don't feel that anymore. I feel this aversion. It's almost like Runaway Bride, but before the marriage, which was good. So she decided to break up. The father said, but come on, he's waiting for you. I'm sorry, Dad, I can't do it. I have a feeling that if I get married, something very wrong is going to happen. The father respected her and said, well, it's better that you went before it begins. She didn't start. And then another guy came along. And this time she said, okay, that's it. I'm going to do it. I feel strong. When the wedding day was coming up, she had the feeling that was so bad. She said, I have a feeling something so bad is going to happen. And it happened until one day she turned 30. 100 years ago, 30, it's a big deal. 30. And a guy who was younger than her fell in love with her. The father said, look, I know you fell in love with her. I understand you, but this is her history. I don't think it's going to happen. The guy said, I don't care. I want to try. They fell in love. She made it. She got married. She got pregnant. But friends, she had this feeling that when she was going to give birth to the child, she was going to die. She told her sisters, told her father, told her husband, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, here she comes again with this, presentiments. And she said, I'm going to die, Dad. Told the husband, told the sisters. And the very day, she said, it's going to happen, and you'll be surprised how it happens. It's going to happen just like that. And it did. The father tried to help. Doctors came along. It wasn't possible. Amália Domingo Soler reports it to us to show that often, before we step into anything, we're given that gut feeling as a way for us to prepare for many things. In her case, her reincarnatory plan was such that she knew that she was going to go through that, what we call expiation and atonement in Spiritism. She had to go through it because of previous life issues. But more important than what happened in previous life, it's about the sign that we are given. And we are given to prepare ourselves. Sometimes we need to go through what we need to go through. Signs are given, but often, we let them pass. And then when things happen, we may be shocked, thinking, oh, why did this happen? But it was all along. In this case, this girl, this woman, she heard the voice inside of her. She accommodated it, prepared herself, and surrendered to what she had to go through. But Vanessa, what a sad story to begin about marriage. Marriage is a school. We begin this by talking about marriage is no fairy tale. For those who haven't found out, here is one thing we're never going to find in Spiritist books. It's not a fairy tale. There's no prince, no princess. There's no soulmate like, oh my gosh, we're going to get together and live happily ever after. You may be together forever, but happily ever after, we've never heard of that. Okay? So Souza is asking if this girl was a medium. It doesn't report her as being a medium, but just a person who has the ability to hear her gut feeling. And that's all we have in all of us. Thank you for your question. I'm going to pass the word now to Care. We have so much to cover here. And of course, if you have questions, feel free to ask, because as you ask, we'll cover more base. Carol now is going to help us sharing her slides.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Right, Carol?
Right. Thank you so much, Vanessa. We are going to rely on the wisdom of the Spirit Mentor Emmanuel to guide us. We picked highlights from the book Vida e Sexo, Life and Sex, not yet translated into English. So Emmanuel reminds us as he writes a chapter totally devoted to marriage. That marriage, as Vanessa pointed out, is a school for the soul. What does that mean to be a school for the soul? It's a union that is meant to enrich our virtues and qualities for immortality. It's a union that is meant to teach us to improve ourselves spiritually. And Emmanuel tells us that is also a school that is based upon reciprocal responsibilities. For instance, friends, in the book Action and Reaction by the Spirit Mentor André Lewis, we see the case of Marcela and Ilideu. They are married, and in the spiritual realm, of course, they sign a contract with their own consciousness that they will be married to support each other's spiritual growth. But then, upon reincarnating, Ildeo is not able to go through this reciprocal responsibility. He's not able to follow through, and they go through a lot of challenges until the marriage is dissolved. But we learn that they were together, as Vanessa said, not to leave the fairy tale or the happily ever after that is promoted to us, but rather to support each other's spiritual growth. So something for us all to meditate upon is what skills, what virtues am I able to develop in each of my relationships for immortality? What is that relationship teaching me as an immortal spirit? Is it teaching me patience? Is it teaching me understanding? Is it teaching me to be more responsible for what I say or for what I feel? Is it teaching me to forgive? What might be in the curriculum of our relationships? And if we are currently married, what might be in that educational proposal for us? So Emmanuel is inviting us to look at marriage as an educational proposal from God to us to enable our spiritual growth mutually. Then Emmanuel goes further and he explains to us why on earth relationships are not the fairy tale that we sometimes believe them to be. Why is that? Emmanuel explains to us that affective relationships are rooted in karmic principles. What does that mean? That when we meet someone and we develop a relationship with them, it is not by chance. It is because we attracted one another vibrationally, and spiritually we already have a history with one another, and often before reincarnating we agreed to support each other in our spiritual growth. For instance, in the book Nosso Lar by the spirit mentor André Luiz, Our Home, we see the case of André Luiz's parents. The mother is devoted and dedicated to her marital responsibilities, while the father engages in many extramarital affairs. Then, in the spiritual realm, André Luiz's mother tries to help rescue his father, but his father is connected to his past lovers spiritually and vibrationally. So as they plan a future reincarnation, we learn that André Luiz's mother is going to take his father as her now future son, and André Luiz's father's lovers are now going to be his sisters. So we see that every relationship that we have, says Emmanuel, is rooted in the law of action and reaction. This is why it is important for us to really look at one another as children of God, first and foremost, and try our best to give to the other person what we would like to receive, because what we sow, we most definitely reap. Then Emmanuel goes even further and he explains to us that we do not hurt another person without hurting ourselves. So we see, for instance, in the book Memoirs of a Suicide, that one of the suicide spirits reported to us by Camilo Botelho did not know how to value his family. So as he recovers in the spiritual realm and plans for a new life, he is told that he's not going to have a partner in that future life or children because of how much he hurt his family that he left behind. We also see the case of Margarita, also in the book Memoirs of a Suicide. She, in a previous life, was actually in the body of a man. And because she, as a man back then in the previous life, didn't know how to respect women in this current life that was reported in the book, she was abused often because she was trying to clear her conscience. She was given an opportunity to pay for her debts. So because she hurt others, she had to respond before the law of action and reaction to appease her own consciousness. Mother Mary interferes in her case lovingly, and her life changes, shifts for the better. But this is an example of how, when we hurt others, we are ultimately hurting ourselves. And Emmanuel also brings another important highlight for us to meditate upon, where he explains to us that the majority of unions, as Vanessa mentioned to us in the case that she opened our talk with, that the majority of unions on earth are of expiatory nature. That means that we come together with our partners in life because we have some sort of debt before them, before life, and before our own conscience. So often when we are planning our reincarnation, we even ask to have the opportunity to reconnect with a certain person in order to give back to them what we took away from them in a previous life. And this process, friends, doesn't always go smoothly, as in the case that Vanessa described to us in the beginning of the talk tonight. So we are thankful for Emmanuel because he brings us the divine perspective on marriage, grounding it to our reality on earth, which is still a planet that is transitioning from a planet of trials to a planet of regeneration. If we understand this reality of marriage more, then we are able to better invest in our relationships for immortality. This is the proposal of Emmanuel for us tonight, dear friends. And now we are going to continue with more on marriage.
All right. As before we pass on the word to Luciana, because she is changing the title of the slide to When Life Goes On. Yeah. So we have it all in English instead of the Portuguese. Before we go there, we want to recap what Carol is mentioning to us. Is it important for us to form a family, form unions, to be married and form a family? Yes. In the Spirit's book by Kardec, we get to know that when we avoid the formation of family and we break it apart, we are very selfish. Nowadays in our society, it's the society of selfishness, because we praise this individualism, especially in the United States. This individual life, when we do what we like, when we're not bothered, when we don't know even how to compromise. It's a very selfish life. And now we have many couples who are not missionary couples who decide not even to have children because they want to enjoy life. All of it, according to Spiritism, is named selfishness. When we want to live alone and we don't want to, we even have relationships, but we don't move forward into the commitment of getting married, of having children, because we're afraid of the hard work. We're afraid of compromising. We're afraid of giving up on too much of ourselves. And that selfishness has a price. When we move to the spiritual realm, we're going to see that life has a completely different angle. And to show a little bit about how in the spiritual realm we see things very differently, Luciana now is going to show to us a piece of a story about marriage, discarnation, remarriage, etc. Right, Luciana?
I was mute. I'm sorry. So, as Vanessa mentioning, we are studying this book, And Life Goes On. And as we learned before, and we are always learning, that the planet Earth is a big school for us. So, as today we come to learn about the school of marriage, it's like another class that we need to go through life. And a lot of times we're not prepared. And this book, And Life Goes On, can bring us a new way to see the marriage, the life that continues. As we are spiritists, we still believe the life continues. So it's a must reading book for us as a spiritist. And I'm going to be talking about a case of those two that disincarnated. They got to know, when you read the book, you'll know more about these two enlightened spirits that are disincarnated right now, but they met in the physical realms where while they are treating themselves to a illness. So they met here on planet Earth and then disincarnated, and they were meeting again in the spiritual realm. And it's very interesting, as we mentioned, that no one comes in our life for no reason, right? There's always a reason why we have friends, why we have family, people that we see towards the end of our life or in the beginning of our life. There's always a reason why this person comes along. And this is what happened with Ernesto and Evelina. So after they're disincarnated, they were in the spiritual realm for a while. And finally, they had a good news that they were going to be able to come and visit their families on planet Earth. So they come down with this group of spirits because, as we know, Jesus worked as a team. We work as a team, and they also continue working as a team in the spiritual realm. And as a team, as a group, they all came to the planet to see their family. And they decided to go together to see their families in order not to be lonely, right? One support one another. That's what we like. Friends that will support us throughout our life, the nice time, the difficult times, for all the time. So they made a deal to go visit their families together. So Evelina went to see her family first. And getting into her house, she saw her husband, now ex-husband, right? Because she is in the spiritual realm, but she came to visit him. She sees him, Kyle, over there with another woman. And she was shocked to seeing Kyle already with somebody new in their house, right? The house where they used to live for many years. And she noticed that the lady was wearing her own pearl necklace. So she knew she was the one that took her place. As we know, when we pass, right, the people that stay on the planet, they keep living their lives. And for her, she probably knew, but she didn't know that's what's gonna happen so fast. So she went there. She got shocked about the situation, and she right after she seen that all the situations, she decided to go out and talk to Ernesto to help her. So she came and talked to Ernesto, and Ernesto was a little surprised when she was talking about what happened over there. He was surprised when he see that the couple, Kyle, and the new woman was leaving. Ernesto realized that the new woman in the relationship is his own daughter. So Evelina and Ernesto were shocked about the situation. And of course, if we read at the book, we'll have more the details because there's so much going on in their lives that is very important for us to know. But we now focus on the marriage, right? And we see here that they both have a relationship since the past because Kyle, as you know, Kyle was a very regular man. In Brazil, this is when it happened. But Kyle is a very average man. He has his willing, his desires. He has his own mindset. And explaining more about Kyle, he used to cheat on Evelina when she was alive with Selena, Ernesto's daughter. So before Evelina disincarnated, he was already having a relationship with Selena. And we can see very common that there are men that decide to have double or triple lives, right? They decide to have a lover, have someone to just go through life for fun. And especially that Evelina was sick, he thought he was okay, right? Doing that. Well, my wife is sick, she's in bed, and he was living his life, making promises to other women. He was making promise to Selena, and Selena really trusts him because Selena loved him. Because when we are with someone, most of the time is because we have the feeling of love or well, like we care about them, we want to be with them. So Selena knew that he had a wife that was sick and she was going to disincarnate, and Kyle had promised to be with her. But as we saw in the image before, Selena was crying because she wanted Kyle to really officialize this union because she was waiting for so long. Now they were being together. So she wanted to have this commitment because when we are with someone, we want to have this commitment that we can count on this person, that the person is going to be there and not just like, oh, I'm tired of you and goodbye. I don't want to have any relationship with you. And as nowadays, when we were studying about this case, me and Carol, we even discussed about the relationships that people were having to one another, like the disposable relationships. Today I date you, I stay with you, but there's nothing else deeper, right? We just go from one person to the other. And Carol even mentioned those apps that we have nowadays, right? Where you go and date, you find people online and you set up a date, you have relationship with them, but you don't have any commitment. So Kyle here didn't want to have this commitment with Selena. He's just like, oh, I already was married before. I don't want to be in prison again. I don't want to go there. And Selena, of course, was very upset because she was counting on this. She was waiting for him to propose to her so they could really live a life knowing that he was going to be there. Because Kyle, she was jealous because she saw Kyle already talking to someone. And as we say, if you are someone that is with someone that already cheating others, you are never with the peace of mind because you're always thinking, oh, he cheated me with this person. What is it going to be that I have different in me that he's not going to cheat myself with somebody else? So that's why she wanted to have this commitment from him, because she doesn't want to have to be worried about him cheating and leaving her. And she'll be really upset because she loves Kyle. So then Ernesto very wisely suggests to Evelina to go with them on this car ride. So they go with them to their destination, and they were listening to what they were talking. And then Evelina, after being a long time on the spiritual realm with Ernesto, they were more illuminated, they have more knowledge, and they decide to work together to help them. So they start working to help the daughter, to help the husband. They were talking to them, even though they could not feel or see them, they could not see their presence. They were feeling, and like they're doing their conversation just like if they were talking all together. So Evelina was suggesting him to honor his commitment, because he said he was going to get married. He promised a lot of things to Selena, and now it was about time for him to honor this. And then Ernesto was also talking with the daughter, helping her and suggesting good things. And as a team, they worked together so they could make this relationship to really flourish, to really be a union, and not like a open relationship like a lot of people are having nowadays. So with the work of the good spirits in this time with the wife and the father working together, they were able to help these two that was still reincarnating and was living the life with very difficult times. And of course, jumping towards the end, they were actually got married. They have their kid, and this kid is special as well. But you need to read the book to know who is this child and why is it so special. So we'll come back with Vanessa and we'll finish it up. This is school of marriage that is so important for us to know.
So beautiful, right? To see how in this book and life goes on, we see the end of it, like how this baby comes and seals the family learning experience. So we don't enter, as Luciana and Carol were mentioning, based on the Spiritist literature, we don't enter marriage the way people are entering. Lately, for professional reasons, I've been watching some Netflix series on matchmaking, etc., to understand some clients that we help out. And we see that many people enter marriage for the wrong reasons. It's usually, like I see many men nowadays. Oh, she's so successful. Oh, she graduated. She's so smart. She makes a lot of money. It's long gone when women were the ones thinking that way. Now it's men thinking she's beautiful, she's successful. Those things don't make a good marriage. The success you have in a profession doesn't dictate the success in a marriage. Even the matchmaker says it. Oh, some people say, oh, I want somebody who is tall. Being tall doesn't make you a good match. Other people, I want somebody who loves dogs, but loving dogs doesn't make you a good partner. Though we agree that dog people are usually so loving and kind, but nothing against the other pets, but dogs are dogs. Even the Evolution into Worlds says that dogs are some of the animals that have the highest intelligence. It says by Andrea Lewis in the book Evolution into Worlds. But there are people who say that they want to get married to somebody that is handsome or beautiful. Those features don't make a happy marriage either. So people are getting married for the wrong reasons. No wonder marriages are falling apart. And many, when they enter marriage, before they enter, they pretend to be someone. And it's almost like a trap. Until they get you in the trap, they show a face. After that, it's like, okay, now you're in my territory. Now, this is who I am, which is not fair either. So, Andrea Lewis, in the book Evolution into Worlds, clarifies even more things. He says to us, and this is in chapter 8 of the book Evolution into Worlds, when he talks about marriage and divorce. Besides other things, he's answering to this question: could we have some explanation about marriage as well as divorce on the physical plane from a spiritual perspective? So this is a reference for us, okay? Evolution into Worlds, chapter 8, part 2. Andrea Lewis says, let us analyze without prejudice. Let us not see these as innovative concepts or disrespect to the feelings of others. So the first thing he says, that there are different purposes of marriage. And he's going to say, we cannot forget that marriage may present a variety of features aiming multiple purposes on earth. So if you are married to somebody whom you love and you get along well, rest assured, this is not because you deserve it or because you're better than others, you're luckier than others. No. It's because in this life you need it. Not necessarily next life it's going to repeat. Because it's a school. There are different purposes. And if the opposite, you are married to somebody whom you thought you loved, you were passionate about, and suddenly it changed, don't feel like you're unlucky either. Because there's something in there for us to learn as well. So Andrea Lewis says that on earth, marriage is a school for different purposes. He goes in good alignment with Emmanuel and Kardec, from the Spirit's book to the book Vida e Sexus, Life and Sex, which is not translated into English, but the book Evolution into Worlds is already available into English. So he says here, accidentally incarnated men and women, or women, may several times experience marriage on earth without finding the company of like-minded souls with whom they would attain the ideal union. Pause for a second. This book was psychographed in 1958, at a time when people were not getting married like they are nowadays. Several times. It's very common nowadays, people are married for a second time, third time, fourth time. Very common. It's becoming very common. Even in most traditional countries, it's becoming very common. But in 1958, it wasn't the case. So this book is a book of the vanguard on earth. It didn't come for the time when it was written. It came for the times we're living in and for the future. But he says here, keyword, accidentally. Why? This happens because commonly it is necessary to redeem this or that debt contracted with their sexual energy, which was unhappily applied before the principles of cause and effect. If we go to the book of humanity, the history of humanity, we'll see that in previous lives, for millennia, we were not monogamic. We had several partners. And if we got married to one, we had affairs. Now, in this life, we encounter the former lovers, former partners, and we got attracted, get married, and it doesn't flow because that passion goes away. In this life, we're married. Relationships that in previous lives were not even marriages. They were sexual encounters, love affairs, something very sporadic. And now we attempt a greater commitment, but it doesn't happen. If you go to the book 2,000 years ago, Pliny and Flavia, since childhood, they see each other, they love each other. They get married. But there's a third person, Aurelia. And Aurelia also as a child sees Pliny with these eyes of passion. And she spent her whole life aiming at getting Pliny to her. She doesn't respect her cousin's marriage because she's cousin of Flavia. She doesn't respect, she tries as hard as she can to get the man of the cousin. Temporarily, she succeeds, but she dies in a dramatic way. Read the book, because in between, we're going to see that a psychic man comes to Aurelia and says, you've been in this love triangle for many lives. You, in this life, you need to step back. If you don't, you're going to die by the sword. She doesn't listen, and if you read the book, you may know what happened. We have like the story we said at the beginning, the gut feeling. Aurelia had it too. She had the warning. She didn't listen. She was stubborn. She was selfish. She wanted something it was not for her. Often, if you talk to people who usually separated and divorced, oftentimes you may talk and say at some point they felt that that person wouldn't be for them, but they invested, they insisted, and they wanted it. I know a couple whom the guy said from the get-go, I knew she was too much for me. From the get-go. But I didn't listen. I was stubborn. I conquered her heart. But one day she left. But he had the gut feeling. He didn't listen. Circumstances happened. They married, but the gut feeling was there. We don't listen. That's why he says accidentally. But why does God allow us to go through this, right? And there is this other counterpart in some marriages in which we feel almost like the person is a possession of ours. In Evelina's case, she overcame the jealousy in the spiritual realm. But how many couples we know, they separate, they divorce, they remarry, and the previous partner keeps on creating obstacles in raising the children together because they don't want to give in to the happiness of that partner that went away, that they were not able to dominate. In this jealousy and spite feelings, we're going to find, as Andrea Louis says, that if the desperation of jealousy or the cloud of spite blinded this or that member of the fraternal union, the spouses rejoined in the higher planes. If one of them is discarnated, sustain the reincarnation of that fellow of discrete benefactors, which is the case of Evelina. She raised above it and she helped out. But this is still minority of the cases. And they interpret the rebellion for sick symptom without taking away the friendly support until that fellow is readjusted. So let's talk about incarnation here, because now we see many blended families and people who are having a hard time beginning anew, getting married, and raising their children together because the former partners create obstacles. And if they don't create obstacles like in a real duel, they create obstacles on the behind the scenes, like talking bad about the spouse to the children, estranging the children from their, alienating the children from their parents as well. So there's so many problems that happen because of our selfishness and of our pride. And some people, those spouses who have the financial input and are the providers in spite of the divorce, etc., they may even abuse by creating some, let's say, cruel injunctions and conditions for their ex-partners. These are considerations that Spiritism, if really understood and felt, would clearly help us out. I know people who have separated and divorced, and they are friendly to each other, they understand each other, they have remarried, and they are so respectful to each other because they really live the gospel principles. I've seen it, and we see it's possible. So that's the dream for the years to come, that people really raise above that pettiness of the soul. Since we're talking about a union that creates a family, in this chapter 8, André Luiz also talks to us about parents, as Luciana said, that receive in their homes sons and daughters whose past lives ties are always ask them to rescue Odette, the baby of Caio, and her future wife, something related to old debts. Purify emotions, renovate impulses. If you have children, have you ever thought that having children is about this? Usually we don't. But the school of family begins in the school of marriage. When we have children, it's not a walk in the park. It's not supposed to be. And often parents are not prepared because they don't know of this, that being a parent is about rescuing old debts, purifying emotions, renovating impulses. We think it's all about fun and enjoying life and having good sex and traveling together, and life is going to knock us down until we learn that it's not about that. It's more serious than that. And to share commitment. Some people cannot commit or even improve their affective relationships. Spouses get together and they start feeling this aversion. It's time for us to work on it like a garden. There's no garden that you dedicate to cultivate that doesn't give you fruits. It doesn't give fruits when we don't work on it, but if we do, it does. So André Luiz, in this very chapter about marriage, the school of marriage, he talks about divorce. Of course, we're not happy about divorce. I've never met anybody who says, I'm so happy I got divorced. Of course, at first you may be happy, but in the long run, you feel like, yes, there was no other way, but you feel that feeling inside. It's not easy. But in the school of marriage, we're allowed to say, enough is enough. When? Is divorce against the law of God? No. It's not. But should they be facilitated? The spirits say no. Should they be stimulated? No, because there are no legal or non-legal marriages without serious ties in the prior common commitment. So there are people here who say, but we didn't get married on paper, we're just living together. Here it says there are no unions, whether legal or non-legal, that don't have serious ties. So this thing about, we get together, if it doesn't work, we separate. We better think a million times before we do it. Why? He says some causes of divorce, it's related to polygamy. Having barely left the polygamous system, men and women may be subjugated to animalistic suggestions. Now, let's talk about polygamy here, because some people think that polygamy is about having an actual physical affair. But if you are a pornographer, if you cultivate that impulse of pornography, according to Spiritism, you are in the vibration of polygamy, because we are already cultivating these relationships with the invisible realm, with the people whom we see on the images in the spiritual realm that are not in the unity that we have created. I know many marriages that are apparently so beautiful, but people are pornographers. They love watching pornography and they cultivate it, and their marriages are not all too happy. They may be to the world, but not in real life, because they are cultivating polygamy. Thus, in the first difficulties of the task to which we were called, the couple deserts their positions of service in life, claiming imaginary incompatibilities and alleged embarrassment, often simply attributable to the narcissism that they carry within themselves. Let's talk about it. You get married and then you're going to have a child. Maybe for months, you won't be able to have physical sexual intercourse. Some people, they say, I can't. And they say, I need it. I have to find somebody else. So before you enter marriage, you need to talk about those cases. What do you do? Because there is no excuse to go find partners elsewhere just because this is a deal that we sealed together. In this way, André Louis says, they may exert vicious tyranny over the psyche of his or her mutilated or sick, needy, or ignorant companion after exploring their emotional world. Not to mention the cases in which they deviate in tragic homicidal, suicidal decisions in a voluntary escape to their precious obligations. So here he's talking about narcissism, which is this selfishness inside of the person, the pride within, in which the person says, and that's why many parents decide, and many women decide not to raise their kids by themselves and send them to daycare, etc., because they don't want to be under the dependency, the financial and also emotional dependence of a partner. Because some of them play this narcissistic game. I pay, you do what I want, I am the final word, you do what I like, this vicious tyranny. And in that case, it may be very suffocating for the person. So André Louis is saying, in that pathway, we understand why divorce would be happening. And in some cases, tragically, leading to homicide and suicide. So, here are the things that this book, written in 1958, is proposing. First, we need to establish strict regulations for the benefit of our brothers and sisters in their habitual infidelity to their own commitments, so they do not engage in more self-mismanagement and prevent them to regress in demeaning promiscuity of ancient times, when the family principles and dignity were still completely unknown. We have some laws that are already protective in that regard if people cheated, but we are talking about having stricter regulations at other levels as well to make sure that people really behave. This is a book, Evolution in Two Worlds, by André Luiz, written in 1958. So he says, when divorce may be a lesser evil, when it's essential that the human feeling intervenes in special cases. The humane feeling, when the divorce is a lesser evil that may arise between the greater evils hanging over the head of the couple. So, pretty much, we are being invited here to think what we are doing in our relationships. Why we are married? It's for learning. It's for progressing together. We're not married together to have good sex, to enjoy life and have a rich life, and to have healthy babies, because sometimes we won't have healthy babies. And that's something we need to embrace as God's opportunity for our progress. Sometimes we will have financial problems because we need to face those difficulties. And we can't give up on the family, on the relationship because of those financial constraints. Sometimes we'll be with a partner that has health issues. We are married and then surprise, surprise, health issues. And we're going to give up on that relationship because it's not the green grass that we waited. It's not like a walk in the park, Disneyland. So the worst of it all is what we have been seeing. Marriages that are enforced or that are sustained because of conveniences, or divorces that are so brutal that destroy people's images. But those who do so will pay. Not in this life, in the next life. For not giving the other one what they need. That's why André Luiz says here, the humane feeling. God doesn't punish us. Don't think that those who are married until the last day of their life, they go to heaven. Because a woman once came to Chico Xavier and said, "Oh, my husband's so hard to live with my husband." And they were together for decades. "Oh, Chico Xavier, what do I do? He's such a hard husband." He said, "Oh, forgive him 70 times, 7 times. And then she went home, came back and said, "I've been doing that, but can I guarantee that this is it, this life? We won't be back, because I'm trying my hard, but I pray that we don't come back next life." And Emmanuel said, "We only will have aced that learning lesson when we can be next to the person and feel like it doesn't bother us anymore." So being married all your life and just putting up with the husband or the wife doesn't make you a better person, doesn't give you heaven. It's all about the inner. And sometimes divorcing is the lesser evil. Though we don't want to promote it, but we want to say in some cases, it's the lesser problem because it's going to sustain the emotional, the spiritual, and even the physical security of either the person or the couple. We want to stop here to open for more comments with Gary and Luciana. If somebody has any question, let us know. Of course, we're not giving a comprehensive study on spiritism or marriage, right? But the main message is marriage is a school. Are you ready to learn? Because if we're not ready to learn, we fail from the get-go. Right, Carol? Right, Luciana?
Right, Vanessa. We are so grateful to Spiritism because it helps us to revisit our priorities. Before we get to know of these eternal truths, we may think, as you said, that marriage is Disneyland, that we will live a fairy tale and we'll experience the happily ever after that we often see portrayed in movies, actually. And most of us like watching those movies exactly because of that effect on us. But Spiritism comes to us as the light of discernment, helping us to reason that there is a much greater purpose to any relationship, especially marital relationships, because we spend a lot of time with that spirit. And that purpose is not confined to whatever we label it. It goes much beyond what the eyes can see. And so, Spiritism helps us to see marriage as a school, as you said, and helps us to meditate upon what might be the learning objectives for us within that realm of that relationship that are eternal, that go beyond good sex, as you said, that go beyond the color of the eyes of the person, that go beyond the person's paycheck, go beyond where we can get a retirement home or a beach house together, but goes into what we may carry for many lives. So, as we were listening to Kardec Radio today, Vanessa, you mentioned an exercise that Mentor Joseph gave to you and to our community, where he invited us to look at our partners as brothers and sisters in God, to take the temporary label out and practice looking at them in the eyes and saying, "You are my sister in God or my brother in God, much before you became my husband or my wife. How may I support you in your spiritual growth?" So if we, thanks to God, Jesus, Master Jesus, and Spiritism, now we can empower ourselves to embrace the real deal, real marriage, not the fantasy ones that we have been used to for millennia, as you mentioned, as you brought the 2000 years ago case with Aurelia and Plinio and Flavia. So Spiritism is saving our lives here.
Yes, and that, Carol, reminds us that being first and foremost brothers and sisters in the role, temporary role of couple, it tells us about this feeling that many people have that they possess their partner, because nobody guarantees that in the next life will be a couple. Nobody guarantees that in the spiritual realm we're going to be together. So it's very important for us to detach of that feelings of ownership and look at our spouses as a companion, temporarily with us, and we are temporarily with them, because there's nothing that says that we'll be together forever. Like Emmanuel says, Publius Lentas and Livia loved each other, but to date, Livia is ascended. They see each other, but he's reincarnated and she is in the higher spheres. And it's been 2,000 years. And he wrote all those books, and yet he's not there with her yet. Okay? So much food for thought, right, Luciana?
Yes, it's very important to see everyone in our relationship as a brother and sister in God, in Jesus. That's what Kara was talking before. She mentioned this was like thinking, because nowadays you say my wife. You can be saying my wife, my husband, right? You just being my wife, being my husband now. So it's all passaging our titles that are changed. And it is a lot for us to learn, and especially uh, marrying. Marriage is a school that we have no class. Only Spiritism is bringing to us right now. So 2,000 years we're being like out there throw on our own lucky. You do whatever you think is right? But nowadays with those books, like
Yeah.
we are start to learn more and hopefully making better decisions because as you said, all the show, the live streaming on the TV, they still see marriage as something like, oh, it's a business. I get married to you now, and if it doesn't work out, they already say, if it doesn't work out, we just get divorced. So there's no commitment. It's like
Yeah.
everything's too superficial. So right now we are having a chance, and maybe in the future we'll have more, right? To teach all this generation that are planning to enter this school of marriage to prepare themselves for the
Yes.
future, for the
And
task.
Luciana, now I'm gonna bring
Yes.
Paloma and Daisy because they were there with the children, and the children were learning something that is essentially key for a good marriage: impulse control. Right, Paloma and Daisy?
That's right.
Yeah.
We were reviewing, part of Ben Franklin's virtues, emotional control. And it comes first with recognizing emotions that sometimes we think we can recognize, but then we really can't. So first of all is this emotional intelligence that what am I feeling right now? And once you recognize it, you can work with it and transform it. So if you're feeling angry, okay, but I will choose to feel something else. And in a marriage, if you don't choose to feel something else, if you are not willing to get out of your bad mood, I don't see how it can last. Yeah.
Thank you, Paloma. Daisy.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to see as you've been talking, right, Vanessa, Karen, and Luciana, about the beauty of Spiritism, because it brings a new angle for us to look at our lives. And Ben Franklin, so wise, so many years ago, he already put impulse control has a virtue. And as Paloma was saying, we worked on this. You can talk about impulse control from several angles, right? The physical angle, as you're talking about, and being in the school of marriage, where you have to control your impulses, right? Physically, but also especially emotionally, and to work on that reactivity, where we comes from so many lives. We're still much closer to animals than to the human kingdom. So we are quote unquote trained to react, right? To say something, to have the last word. And we start by teaching our children, like from early age, you can choose. You are the master of your body, right? It's spirit over matter. So first and foremost is to identify it. That's very important, and then work on it. And we gave them an affirmation, but I think it's for all of us, where they will practice every week to say, every day of the week to say, today I choose. I know I can control my emotions, and today I choose to feel. And then they choose a positive emotion. I choose to feel grateful. I choose to feel hopeful.
And I think if we can wake up every day with that, I know I can choose my emotions, and today I choose to feel blank, that would definitely lead for a stronger and happier marriage for sure.
That's so friends. Of course, we were not able to cover all bases, but the main idea that the experimenters want us to think is marriage is a school, family is a school. We're learning with our partners, with our children. Are we open to it? Marriage is not business. Marriage is a true commitment from soul to soul. So, thinking about this, if you have any question, write to us at cardiacradio@gmail.com or type in your comment and question here. We'll do our best to reply to you and give you some feedback. For now, we invite you to our wrap up. This is the moment in which the good spirits come and settle our good energies. They give us the booster. It's a booster so we can enhance our reincarnatory performance for our own benefit. Okay? This is that moment. It's like when we are in a race, it's the pit stop. The car needs to stop, even if it's quickly, to change the wheels, the brakes, whatever it is, to put some gas. This is our moment. We need to stop and allow the good spirits to recharge us. It's up to you to open yourself. I know family is all around in the house. Let family do what they need. Now it's for you. Forget the pets, forget the children, forget the spouse, and say, I need 10 more minutes. Okay? So Luciana is going to lead us into the passes prayer. Thank you, Luciana.
So let us close our eyes in order to be more connected or to easily connect with the good spirits. As we breathe in and out, visualize yourself sitting, receiving light. There is a rays of light shining on you. And this light is happening and expanding so your whole body is illuminated. Those are the result of the love and care of the doctors and nurses, Master Jesus, Mother Mary, sending their loves to us, helping us to be more open to receive this treatment that is unique and prepared for each one of us. We can feel the love expanding, and it expands so much that we can see our next one being illuminated. We can see our partners in this life also being illuminated and receiving these blessings, healing energies brought to us to heal our hearts, to heal our soul, to heal the mind, opening up new horizons for us to explore. with these beautiful teachings that we daily receive from our Master Jesus. As we feel this light, healing light expanding, we can see our whole house being illuminated. And this light is harmonizing, cleansing, recycling the energies of where we live, dissolving ties that we made that are not very evolved. Everyone in both realms of life are receiving these passes, this healing treatment at this moment. And as all our house is being illuminated, we illuminate the whole street, sharing this loving and care with the neighbors, which are also our brothers and sisters, as we learned. So everyone in this planet Earth, in both realms of life, are receiving these blessings coming from above. We feel good, lighter. We feel this treatment really working in us because we are choosing to be healed by these mentors, doctors, and nurses. We want to be healed. We want to receive the treatment that we all need. And as we keep ourselves in this high vibration, we continue vibrating the light and this love. But we pray in this moment, praying for all of those that were not able to connect with us tonight. We pray so that they can feel this love and these blessings. We would like to pray, dear Father, for all the families, everyone that decide to make this commitment of marriage, legally or not legally, but this feeling of being together and building a family. We pray for all of those that are in this school of marriage, of family, of the relationship, that they receive your blessings, that they can make their homes, their relationship more Christian in order to succeed for this life and for the other ones to come. And as we visualize all the families that we know and the ones that we don't know, we pray for them to be willing to make the change, to let love comes first in their lives. And we also pray, dear Father, for everyone that are ill in the mind, in the body, spiritually speaking. May they all feel your love and care. We pray so that they can make wise decision as they know more about you, as they make this connection with the divine, so they can heal themselves and even stop thinking about suicide. We like to pray for all of those that are being violated in their homes by their family members due to this time of being too close in the house. We know some brothers and sisters really suffering the domestic aggressivity. So we pray for all of those that they can receive guidance and protection. We also would like to pray for those that send their names to us, those that has the name in the book of prayers, and all of those that are in greater need. And with your permission, dear Master, we would like to close this beautiful meeting of tonight. And so be it.
What a blessing to be here together with one another and all of you. We wish you a wonderful day and night. And again, if you have any question, write to us. And we wish you a beautiful journey in the discoveries of God's opportunities for growth. Thank you, friends, and until next Friday.